All right, lovely learners, are you ready to read? I know I am. Get comfy, it's listening time. Let's turn up the volume on our ears. Can you hear me better now? Sweet! And now since we're listening, we're going to have to turn down the volume on our mouths. On the count of 3, let's put on our regal reading glasses so that you can see the pictures or read along with me if you already know how. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Well, today is a special day because I have a friend stopping in to chill on the soulful sofa with us. My friend is an author. Do you know what an author is? That's right, an author is someone who wrote a book. Amazing listening. Well, are you ready to hear the story? It's a really good one. All right, listen up.
Hello everybody, my name is Richardo Keens-Douglas and I'm going to tell you a story called the Nutmeg Princess. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Once upon a time, on a little island in the Caribbean called the Isle of Spice, there lived a little old lady way up in the mountains called Petite Mama. Now, Petite Mama was about 4 feet 5 inches tall. Her eyes were dark and deep. Her voice creaked like dry old coconut branches. And when she laughed, oh, it filled the air like earthly thunder. Now, although Petite Mama was tiny, she was a hard worker and very strong, and she owned lots of land way up in the mountains filled with all kinds of tropical fruits. There were mangoes, sapodillas, bananas, oranges, to name a few. And when these fruits were in season, she would load them onto a donkey-drawn cart and she would come down the mountains to sell these fruits. But nobody was coming to buy the fruits from Petite Mama because they were all afraid of Petite Mama because they thought Petite Mama was a witch or an obeah man. But that didn't bother Petite Mama. Oh no, she would come down and people would still come to buy her fruits, and they would be the sweetest fruits out and they would love it, but they wouldn't get close to Petite Mama. Now, although Petite Mama had many fruit trees, her choicest crop came from her nutmeg trees. Further up the mountain, just past the nutmeg trees, there was a bottomless lake in the middle of a volcano. People came from far and wide to see this lake because it had no bottom. And on this lake, Petite Mama says, lives a young black girl. Petite Mama calls her the Nutmeg Princess because she would only appear when the nutmeg was ready for picking and the sweet smell of the spice was in the air. She's the most beautiful princess you have ever seen, Petite Mama said. Big eyes, a beautiful smile, and she's always dressed in a pale blue gown all the way down to the ground. And she had hundreds of tiny braids in her hair, and at the end of each braid hangs a little diamond. Petite Mama says she's the most beautiful girl you have ever seen. Big eyes, beauty, 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 and she had a beautiful soul. And when she came, she would sit on the middle of the lake on pieces of bamboo tied together by straw, and she would drift back and forth, singing a song. Sometimes it was a sad song, sometimes it was a happy song. And all of a sudden, she would disappear, just like that. Now, Petite Mama was the only one who had ever seen this little princess. That's why people thought her a wee bit strange. But that didn't bother Petite Mama. That didn't bother her at all. Now, in that town lived a little boy by the name of Aglo. Now, Aglo's parents didn't have much, but that didn't bother Aglo, right? Because Aglo loved to read books, and he would go to the library and read books. Now, his best friend was a chubby-faced girl called Petal, and they loved to read books as well, and they would sit under the mango tree and read to each other. Now, Aglo and Petal, they were the only ones who weren't afraid of Petite Mama, especially Aglo, right? So whenever Aglo saw Petite Mama selling her, fruits on the side of the road, he would shout out, Petite Mama, how are you? How are you? And Petite Mama would say, I'm okay, young boy. And she would throw him, some fruits, and he would jump for joy and he'd be happy. And some days she would surprise him with a book. And he would grab the book and he would run down the road straight to Petal's house, and they would sit outside and read this new book. Then one day, Aglo decided to go all the way up to the mountain to visit Petite Mama, something nobody had ever done before. So, goes up to the mountain and he calls out, Petite Mama! Petite Mama! What you want, little boy? Said Petite Mama. Tell me something, Petite Mama. Is there really a Nutmeg Princess? What you want to know that for? Well, you said she will appear when the nutmeg is in bloom, and the nutmeg is in bloom now. I can smell it in the air. Ah, said Petite Mama. Do you believe that I see the Nutmeg Princess? Oh yes, Petite Mama. Oh yes, I believe you. Then listen well, my little boy. You have to get up bright and early in the morning, like me, 4 a.m., before the first cock crows. And the air is clean and fresh, and you can smell the nutmeg in the air. And you start going up the mountains. And then you go through the nutmeg trees. You think you can wake up that early like me? Oh, that's no problem, Petite Mama. I can wake up that early. Then, when you hear the first cock crow, she says, you start to climb up the mountain. You go through the nutmeg trees, you go through the fruit trees until you come to a big stone by the old red rowboat, and you wait. Will she come? Aglo asked. Only the good Lord knows, my son. Only the good Lord knows. And with that, Aglo ran back down the mountain straight to Petal's house, shouting, Petal, Petal, Petal! And she's poking her head out the window. What's the matter, Aglo? What's the matter? Tomorrow is no school. So I'm going up to the mountain to see if I can see the princess near the lake. That sounds like fun, says Petal. Oh, what time? 4:30 a.m.? 4:30 a.m. in the morning? Did a coconut fall on your head? Okay, I'll come with you, said Petal. Kokioko! Kokioko! It was 4:45 the next morning, and they were halfway up the mountain when the first cock crowed. It was dark, and the tropical air was fresh and clean. You could hear the distant sound of the river flowing. It was coming down the mountain. Up and up they went through the fruit trees, stopping to pick a mango for breakfast. Up and up they went through the nutmeg trees until at last they came to the small lake. It was 4:30 when they sat down on the big stone by the old red rowboat. The smell of the nutmeg was very strong in the air. Then all of a sudden, all the birds stopped singing and everything became very still. Then all of a sudden, Aglo said, Look, there she is. And Petal said, where? And Aglo said, there. Petal said, where? But Petal couldn't see her. Oh, I can't see her, Aglo. I can't see her. Oh, what does she look like? Petal asked. Oh, she's a very good-looking lady, Petal. Very good-looking lady, said Aglo. Oh, is it true she has diamonds in her hair? Oh, yes, it's true. And she has lots of diamonds, and she has like a glow around her. Oh, what is she doing? Oh, she's just smiling at us. Oh, she's gone. She's gone, Petal. Oh, I wish I could have seen her, Petal said, disappointed. Maybe next time, Aglo said, and back down the mountain they ran, straight to Petite Mama's house, shouting, we have seen the Nutmeg Princess! We have seen the Nutmeg Princess! And they ran through the town, shouting to all the townspeople, we have seen the Nutmeg Princess! We have seen the Nutmeg Princess! And Aglo ran into the house to tell the good news to his father. His father said, Aglo, did you have breakfast this morning? Aglo said, no, Daddy, that's why you saw the Nutmeg Princess. You're hungry. Feed the boy. nobody would believe him. Nobody. Now, word got around that the princess appeared and she had diamonds in her hair. Now, although the people didn't believe Aglo, half the town people went up to the mountain the next morning. They were there because they were greedy, and they thought, if the Nutmeg Princess is true and she appears, what they will do, they will grab the Nutmeg Princess and steal all the diamonds from her hair. Oh, so every morning, first morning they went up to the mountain, the princess never came. The second morning, the princess never came. The third morning, Aglo and Petal went up to the lake, and there they were, all the townspeople looking, but nobody could see the princess. Aglo started shouting, "Oh, there she is on the lake." And everybody started looking, but nobody could see the princess, not even Petal. The only thing they could have seen was a floating piece of bamboo raft drifting back on and forth on the lake. And the townspeople said, "Oh, maybe the diamonds are on the raft." And all the townspeople jumped into the lake, and they started swimming towards the raft. But the Nutmeg Princess became very sad, and she started to sing a sad song because she saw how the people only cared for money and riches and nothing else. And every time the townspeople got close to the raft, it would drift out of their reach until they all got tired and went back to the land and watched the raft floating. And all of a sudden, the Nutmeg Princess did this. And Aglo said, "Petal, she wants us to come out to her, but I can't swim." And Petal said, oh, never mind, Aglo. Let's use this old red rowboat. And Aglo said, "Great idea, Petal." And they took the old red rowboat and they pushed it into the lake, and Aglo and Petal jumped into the boat, and they started rowing towards the princess. But it was an old boat, and the boat started to sink, and Aglo couldn't swim, and Aglo started to panic, and he started shouting, "Oh no, I can't swim. And Petal said, "Don't panic, Aglo, don't panic, I can swim. When we get into the water, all you got to do, very gently hold on to my shoulders, and I will swim with you." And they got into the water, and Aglo very gently held on to Petal's shoulder, and they swam, and she swam with him, until they got to the raft, and they jumped onto the raft, all tired and exhausted. And Petal said, "Is she standing here? Is she there?" And Aglo said, "Yes, she's standing right next to you." And all of a sudden, the Nutmeg Princess just started to shake her hair, and all the dewdrops, diamonds, started scattering all over the sky. And one diamond floated down and landed in the middle of Petal's forehead. And Petal looked up, and Petal said, "I can see her. I can see the princess." Petal could see the princess. And the princess said, "Yes, that was because you weren't selfish and didn't think only about yourself, but cared enough about your friend to bring him to safety. Now take that love and caring you have for each other and share it with the world. And remember, little ones, if you believe in yourselves, all things are possible." And she disappeared. The Nutmeg Princess disappeared. And Aglo and Petal rowed back. They took the raft back to the land, and they ran down the mountain to tell Petite Mama the good news. But there was no Petite Mama. Petite Mama had also disappeared. But she left a letter with the lawyer, and this is what the letter said: "I leave my entire estate to Petal and Aglo because I know they'll work very hard for my fruit trees and my nutmeg trees to bear. And up to this day, nobody has seen the Nutmeg Princess or Petite Mama. And the nutmeg is the choicest crop on that little island in the Caribbean called the Isle of Spice." There, the Nutmeg Princess. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I wonder where Miss Love is.
I'm here. Thank you so much for joining me on the Soulful Sofa today, Mr. Keens-Douglas.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Miss Love. I had such a great
you.
time. It's really nice being here.
Yes, and you know what, everyone? All that reading made me so thirsty. How about you?
Oh, I'm thirsty for days. That's right.
Well, you know what? I think we're gonna have to take a sip of water from our clever cups.
Clever cups. Here he goes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Was that good?
Absolutely delicious.
Amazing.
I can have another sip. It's so good.
Okay,
Can I?
do that. Too much. You know
Lovely.
what? You could never have too much water. So.
A lot of clever. A lot of clever.
Yes, and it keeps us clever. It keeps us being smart.
Yeah.
So and healthy as well. So. So. Thank you again, and I just really would like to know what inspired you to write such a colorful and amazing story.
Okay, 20 years ago, well, I'm dating myself. I normally would go to schools and talk to students about self-esteem or believing in yourself, and I would tell stories. And I was doing a session, maybe about 300 kids, and there were only about maybe 5 or 6 black kids in the auditorium.
Oh wow!
In the gym.
Wow.
And after I started telling my stories, a little black girl got up, cute as ever. She had a lot of locks and like Whoopi Goldberg, you know, and like she was wearing this long sweater, and the sweater was all hair. And she put her hand up and she says, "Excuse me, sir, do you know a story of a black princess?" And my heart sank because at the time I didn't know one.
Yes.
Because they are wonderful African stories, but I didn't know one at the time.
Right.
And she wanted her friends to know that there is a princess that looked like her, you know, because she knew all the Cinderellas and the Snow Whites and the Sleeping Beauties, but she never heard a story about a princess that looked like her.
Oh wow.
So when I left that room, I said to myself, I'm going to start writing for children. I'm going to write my first story is going to be about a black princess. And not only for black kids or children of color, but for all children.
Yes.
You know? And so now, and that's why I wrote the Nutmeg Princess. And as I said, the theme in it is if you believe in yourself, all things are possible. So this is how this came about. And I wish I remembered the girl, the little kid, because I would have dedicated the book to her, you know?
Nice. That would have been awesome. Well, I feel like I identify because look, everyone, I have locks too, right? And I'm black. My skin is black. And to be real, when I was little, 7 and 8 years old, I didn't know a story of a black princess either. And this was one of the first stories that I was introduced to that spoke about a black princess, and it made me feel very good. So thank you for writing this, because it wasn't just for that little girl. It was for, you know, millions of us, billions of us actually that look this way and wish to see pictures that look like us. And also, as you said, this helps other people to see people that may not look the same as them, so that we can practice what we always talk about here, which is acceptance and being nice to one another. So this is a monumental story, and I'm grateful. And now hearing from you that the reason why you wrote it, it's an even more special story. So once again, thank you for sharing this with us. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we hope to have you back on the Soulful Sofa.
I would love it. I love the Soulful. Feel a lot of soul in me.
Yes, there's lots of soul on this sofa.
I really enjoyed it here, and nice seeing you guys.
I love reading stories with you. Thanks for joining me with your big, beautiful smiles. Your good company brought so much love and light to this room. All right, lovely learners. So we have a dash of love and a sprinkle of light. But what did we learn today? Aglo and Petal show us how important it is to encourage and to care for our friends. Aglo always reassured his friend Petal that someday she'd see the Nutmeg Princess too. And as you saw, finally Petal saw the Nutmeg Princess. And did you realize She saw the Nutmeg Princess too after being so kind and gentle and caring to Aglo. Wasn't that nice of her? Mr. Keens-Douglas was so kind to come here today and share his story with me and all of you. Just yesterday, I was kind and helpful to another friend of mine. I helped them move. Can you share with us some ways that you've been kind, encouraging, or caring to any of your friends? Or even helpful? We'd like to hear it. I love to dance, and I bet you do too. Join in the dazzling dance party and let's get our bodies moving to the beat of some music. Do you think that my friend is going to join us for the dazzling dance party today? Who knows? The music can be fast, the music can be slow. Well, here we go.